still. And running a little late this morning. It's about 8:15 on Tuesday, March 31st. That was trying to be my... That was my attempt at trying to act Irish. Whatever. Happy Irish Day, St. Patrick's Day. Don't act like a dopey drunk. Act like an adult. So that's where we're at, and so goes oil, so goes everything else. Although, though, kind of a weird type of thing overnight here. Oil gapped up. We're up about almost 2.5% overnight. We are trading. I think this is trading the. Yeah, I think it did roll to the May. And so we are trading the May. And if you're not trading the May after today, today is pretty much the day. So there you have it. So no trades here. I mean, you know, I'm going to mark this. It's marked up here. I have it marked from yesterday. This is the spike over 100. It just happens to be at an R2. So, you know, keeping that marked. And also down here at these lows, 92, 96, I'm also going to add an alert as well down here on the lows. And it also happens to be near an S1. You know, and you know that I'm not a crude trader per se. But if the situation, and this would be 03, 16, 20, 26. If the situation comes up, I'm obviously going to take it. I mean, I'd likely not trade the full-blown oil contract. I would likely trade the micro just because the margin requirements in oil right now, most of the time, just absolutely suck. So that's it. That's all I have to say about oil. So basically keep it in the corner of your eye. Again, the way to trade the markets right now is to keep an eye on oil and headlines. Let's face it. And then let's kind of roll into a few other things. Let's take a look at the ES. ES coming into a R2 overnight, trading 67.62, up almost 1% overnight. Don't know if I'd really be taking anything right here pre-market at 821. I know there's some numbers. Let's see. I think there is a CPI number today. Let's see. 80 payrolls came out. Fed services. Okay, so nothing. Nobody gives a shit about Fed services. Home sales, I don't know. Does anybody even give a shit about those either? No, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. There's a PPI. That's what I was thinking for. So whatever reason, Wednesday. Wednesday is the busy day. So there is really nothing. Although there is a number coming at 8:30. Always be aware of that. You know, for whatever reason, the market might just say, oh, you know, that number is, you know, a reason to, you know, we're buying or selling or whatever they're doing. So not really much in the way of things setting up for me on the ES. We've already taken out this R2, so that's going to be difficult. If we get up near R3, that could be interesting. I'm probably going to mark it 68.0825. Oh, I don't want to sell. What am I doing? 68.28, 25 there. And this is an R3. All right, so that's marked off. As far as to the downside, I mean, I have to say, S2 looks very interesting. Although, if we get down to S2, things can get pretty nasty. 6604.75. But nonetheless, we are going to mark it. Those are kind of the spots, today that are sticking out in my head. As far as Class A trades, on the ES. All right. But there are some other spots that I will say look tempting, depending on how things roll. We have this spot right here, and I'll just mark it. Right, very interesting spot there. From back last week, and we couldn't get back through there on this downturn. Getting back up in this spot could be an interesting short. Especially you have some, have a high volume node here. So I would take a look at that and keep an eye on 67, we'll call it 6784s. 6784s. I would just call it 6783.75, just so that you're a little early. All right, and that is that to the upside. Now, underneath here, if we're able to hold down here, I may actually take something down here. There's not really a lot there that would make me take this, even though we kind of swung down there overnight and now we're coming back up. There's no high volume nodes here. There's you have this gap here, which is concerning, that we could possibly come back down and fill this. We haven't filled it yet. So anyway, I'm pointing that out. Also, you look back here, we couldn't get through here. This was actually resistance at one time. We had a couple of touch. So again, it's kind of one of those areas where, it's not like an A+ setup, but nonetheless, I'm just going to point it out because it does look like an area of interest, depending on how the market's trading. If we're coming down in here into this level with really serious momentum, I'd likely sidestep it. But if we're kind of grinding down into it, it may be worthwhile taking a shot on it. All right, and that's it on the ES. I don't really have anything else. I don't want to get out of the weeds and look way up here and look way down here. If those things kind of happen, then we have other problems. But again, you're going to be watching oil the whole time. And if you overlay the NASDAQ, over the ES, I'm not even going to go over it. You can do it yourself. It is exactly the same. So, it's one thing that's really kind of weird about what's going on in the markets right now. ES and the NASDAQ are completely at parity as far as even the charts. You look at these charts, they look identical. The only difference is that the NASDAQ hasn't breached R2 yet. And that may actually be a nice setup here. 24,957 on the NASDAQ. All right, and I'm putting that there because this was a little different. We have a lot more volume up here, right above that R2. So that looks like an interesting spot, and we may actually even get there. We're only about 40 points away. Now, the Russell's been trading completely different. Now, look, this is the Russell, completely different chart, trading entirely differently. Pretty much stuck. You could see yesterday it was a chop house in the Russell. But however, I do like this R2 still. I'm not going to trade R1. There was, we did breach an R1 yesterday, and there was a lot of slippage through it, and just really didn't. It didn't really, look satisfactory to my liking. So I will definitely take the R2 up here at 25, 40, 80. And then to the downside, I do like S1. And I also like the lows of the day, 24.62. And that's really it in the Russell. All right, and then I will flip gears. I did open it up, and I will put up, because out of being transparent, because I believe it's important as hell to be transparent in this sleazy ass, disgusting business where every jackhole on the planet wants to say they're a professional trader. This was my results from yesterday. Put up $48. I mean, it was a grind yesterday. And again, I had said, look, this is the express funded account. I switched to micros in here, and I'm going to continue to do micros in here. And my objective is to not only keep this account, but grow it. And if it takes a couple of months, I really don't care. Again, it's more about keeping it than it is about blowing it up, and making it. So yesterday was a grind, but nonetheless profitable. But and I have a combine as well where I'm trading the big contracts in here, and I actually lost yesterday, $130. I mean, I consider that a success yesterday with the way the price action was, because it sucked. It was bad. I'm not going to say, I've never seen it that bad before. It's bad like that all the time. And it was just a bad day. And I had one trade last night, I think. Last night I did I did one mini in here. One mini or one micro? I don't even remember. But anyway, I did one trade in here last night. I managed to squeeze out $3.76. So that's how those are working out. And again, I have two of these. My objective is to get to the maximum, which is 5. And that is that. And so that's how that's going. All right, and I just thought I'd throw that out there. I did hear an alert go off. ES just went up to 67.66, so I guess that news was good. So I guess everybody was looking at Fed services. But whatever. So it did go through R2, and you can see it sliced right through there like a champ, which is why I said that I'm not real happy or real looking at that one, because probably not going to take that one. Again, you mark these out, and then you gotta see how things react. Now, if we get a reversal in here. Let's see, possibly. If we get a reversal in here, but a lot of buying on the tape here, you'd probably be fighting to get short, which is never good. So, again, look at this thing just kind of barreling higher. So, there's that. All right, so we'll see what happens. See if it actually, they're really driving this thing. I guess it was a great number, and I see oil's backing off a little bit. Maybe that's what it is, or did headlines come out? I have no idea. Who knows anymore? So anyway, that's kind of it. That's kind of the story. there. This NBIS yesterday, I talked about it. It actually went off the charts, but then look today, this morning, it's down. Looks like it's down about $6. It's down to 121. So I had, mentioned like, look, don't, with this one, this is why I actually decided to sell volatility in this as opposed to getting directional. And the reason why I went so wide, because, I think you're just going to see a lot of this where it's going to be, up 2-3%, down 2-3%, and it's going to be a choppy ride. And I think you're going to get those headlines with this. Look, I'm not dissing anything that they're doing. I think if you want to buy it and hold on to it, that's fine. I'm just trading it, folks. So, and that's just, this is how I'm trading it. And I think going forward that you're going to continue to see this type of price action. And if you do, it should kind of set up nicely for, additional volatility trades. All right. There hasn't been many on the board. I mean, I know there's a ton in the list, but many of them just really haven't been tradable. This is one that I feel that's been tradable. But overall, you can see that this entire kind of sector here that I have sectioned off did really well yesterday. Really well. And as I mentioned, this to me is probably if you're going to trade, these are kind of the places that you're going to want to trade, because honestly, the bigger names like these are just, they suck right now. They suck. I mean, you got the SanDisks and the Microns that are just kind of nailing it and just keep, although they get smoked on certain days, they come roaring back. I don't think you're going to get that with a lot of these other ones. I think they're going to have their good days, but then, they're going to have their days where it just doesn't do anything. And it seems like the momentum up for a lot of these is waning hard. Whereas many of these like relief kind of rallies that you get in here, they seem to be quickly followed by, a lot of selling. And so, just trade accordingly. That's all, especially with these. And I haven't really been, I got my positions in these and I'm not really adding to them and I'm not reducing my exposure. I'm just kind of standing pat. Because again, there's no there right now. There's no excitement. And as I said, I think, the places that you want to be, and to me that like kind of have the fun, explosive growth that you're probably looking for are going to be in a lot of these names. That's just my opinion. So that's really all I got. I don't really have a hell of a lot. I've been kind of focusing in on Count's doing okay. Made a pretty good comeback here with things snapping back. I got a lot of losses still stacked up in here, right? Microsoft's still a pig, Netflix, Oracle, the big names. Most of these are just a bunch of puts that are actually going to expire in 3 days. These were just a hedge. I had showed everybody I put those on a couple of weeks ago. I reduced this size. These are the ones I have left, and I'm just leaving them on here, and just in case something happens in the next couple of days, and then they're just going to expire and go away. My oil position is really kind of sucking ass too. I'm short oil. But, these are a little bit longer plays. You can see I got 30 and 50 days on these. We'll see what happens. I don't think it makes its way back, to be honest. Because, again, I think a lot of it has to do with this product. This product kind of blows dick anyway. But, there's really not much alternative. Again, I'm not going to trade oil in an oil stock because it's just not like a good enough one for one. Anyway, it's a hedge. I'm being contrarian. Have a nice day. And it's not working. There you have it. And it's not working. The thing is, though, with this is that this could all come in a day or two. They announced that, Iran and the United States have an agreement. The Hormuz, is open for business, which it's open for business. If you don't think it's been open for business from the get-go, I think you have brain damage. Because you could see what they were doing when the ships were going through. They were turning their transponders off. They're being instructed to turn their transponders off that goes through the straight. And if you haven't really seen that, like, and I don't know if you have fucking brain damage or what, but things have not been shut down there. Things have not been shut down. There's shit going through there, like probably more than you'll ever know. I mean, because you see the blips, and then you see them disappear. Even on the thing they have, you see them disappear, and then all of a sudden you see this bunch of stuff show up on the other side, and you see the blips. It's like, did they just go through and they just turn the fucking transponder off? It's like, of course. So they stealth through. So it's like, shut up. So anyway, this can all come back in just a couple of days. So that's the thing about this. You know, oil goes back down to $80, $75. This thing's going to collapse. Again, my bond position's sucking ass. But again, all long term. But I have a decent amount of losses stacked up here, and if you notice, it's all in a lot of the stocks I'm telling you to kind of stay away from a bit, because I've been buying them on the way down, and really it hasn't worked. You know, and not everything's a fucking winner, folks. Not everything's a winner. You know, I have some winners. I have very few. I mean, because I do take my winners off. A lot of times I'll take my winners off, and like with these are long-term plays. You know, and the options, if you see days till expiry, are like 200. So, you know, I'll just let them sit and let them cook, you know, because they're long-term plays. And that's why they look worse than what they are. But, you know, nonetheless, they're losses, right? And, you know, we all have them. And trust me, if you do this long enough, you have more losses than you do wins. It's just the nature of the beast. And if you don't, that means you're not trading enough. And I'm not saying you got to have I'm not saying you can't not have a 50% win rate, but you're not banging out no 80 and 90% win rate. I'm just telling you right now. I've been doing this long enough to know there's nobody who's doing that. And if you are, or you're claiming that you are, you're just lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself, and what you're doing is you're lying to people who you're charging, because that's why you're telling people that. Because I have no reason to tell anybody what my win rate is. I don't even know what my win rate is, to be honest with you. All I know is my account is more every year, and I don't add money to any of these accounts. I don't add money to, actually that's a lie. I have a Roth that I add money to. But none of these accounts that I add money to, none of my trading accounts, and I've made a kind of firm rule to myself that I do not add money to trading accounts. And that's an important rule to have. Because if you're losing, because I learned a long time the hard way, when you're losing and your account's down and you have to add money and you're adding money to it, you better reevaluate with how you're doing, because you're obviously not doing something right. And you're basically adding to a losing business, because your business is not doing good. And so when you're adding money to a losing business, that's not good. So anyway, there you have it. So there's the real deal there on what's going on. And you see my account up about 10 grand this year so far. And that's total. That's from stocks that I have long and, you know, from trading. So I wish it was more, but this market really hasn't, you know, set up. And so there you have it. That's all I got. I'm going to actually jump into I'm going to jump in and jump on my trading combine right now and try start doing something with that. I wish I could broadcast through that, but as you know, I have a day job, and you know, I don't want to leave my screen share on here while I do my day job, because that's kind of a douchey move, and then not say anything. So, but anyway, there you have it, and have a good day today. And again, watch the oil. So goes oil. So goes pretty much everything. And it does look like we're getting a decent amount of a buy-in right now. So, and we will see. So have a good one, and I will be back tomorrow. And I will say this: I'm going to begin a little series of posting some videos on some of my chart setups, some of my, I guess, trading strategy. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like, I'm very weird about talking about my trading strategy only because it's not very sophisticated, folks, and it's not very complicated. And I almost bore myself when I start talking about it because it's so boring and unsophisticated. And it's worked for so long now, and when I've strayed from it. But I am going to start doing a little bit of that because I'm hopefully going to be adding something soon that I think a lot of people might be interested in. So anyway, let that be food for thought. Have a good one. And again, trade them tight.